Hey everybody, Justin Schell, risk mad scientist here. I'm actually joined by a great friend of mine, a colleague of mine at Highmark Health, Wajahat Waheed. Wajahat, say hello.
Hey everyone, this is Wajahat Waheed from Health.
Yeah, and so Waja and I, we've known each other for a couple of years now, and he reached out to me recently, Wajahat, and I was just really moved by what you wanted to talk to him about, what you trying to do and rally around. So I thought, hey, let's bring it out here to some of the people I know out here in social media and see if we can bring some more attention. So hey, listen, why did you reach out to me a couple of weeks ago? What did you want to talk to me about?
I basically watch news daily, and since a couple of weeks, I've been watching news around the scale of the flood in Pakistan, and each day the numbers were increasing. The death toll, the number of people getting displaced from their homes, field of crops getting completely destroyed. All of those numbers were increasing, and but there was this one video which really triggered me, and it was where there was these four brothers, and they got stuck in a flooded stream, and they were stuck there for 5 hours, and nobody was able to rescue them, and they basically died. So that was like a really trigger response for me, and I basically reached out to you because I could see that there could be a lot of other people like those four brothers, and I know that you're a compassionate leader, and I wanted to see if since Highmark has been contributing to these communities in need previously. So I wanted to reach out to you and see if you could and we could do something similar for Pakistan as well. And I was actually very surprised that you were already aware of the flood situation, and you were like ready to act and help from the day we talked. So thank you for that.
Yeah, well,
And
and I'll tell you, like this, I'm happy to try to bring this out to, to the public here and do what I can to draw some more attention to this because, let's talk a little bit about how you and I met. A couple years ago, I was looking for a data scientist intern to join our team, the decision and capital analysis team. And I interviewed you. You were a graduate student at Purdue, and I was like, hey, Wajrat's he's a pretty cool guy. He's pretty smart. And, you came in and just did an amazing job with us. And I think the great part about working in any organization is all the people you meet and you get to interact with. And so, I think, you and I taught each other a lot during our internships. Like, what's something that you really learned during your internship when you worked with our team?
so first thing I learned a lot about was the work you guys were doing, the uncertainty modeling work. That was really something new to me. The second was that since your team was reporting directly to the chief investment officer, and so in my internship, I got a chance to, present to the C-suite executives thrice in just like 2 months. So I think that was a good exposure and learning experience for me. And you also are pretty good at presenting, so I got good mentorship as well. And the last thing was communicating data science to a non-data science audience. This was like a finance org with everyone just knowing what AI is maybe but not like data science. So that was something I learned as well.
Yeah, and for me, like it's funny you say that with like knowing very little about data science. I knew very little about data science, so you taught me a lot about the field and how I could leverage it in my work. And I saw an article the other day. Are you a data scientist or are you a decision scientist? And I was able to like communicate who I am. I'm a decision scientist, and I know the difference because of what you taught me. And I think the other thing that you really taught me a lot about is Pakistan. We had a lot of conversations about what Pakistan's like, when you were born there and grew up there. And, you told me stories about your family. And so, two occasions recently, one, I was watching Ms. Marvel, and, when she was talking about the separation, between Pakistan and India and what that meant to her family, I understood that a lot more because of talking to you about your life and your family. And then when the floods happened, I was like, wow, these are Wajahat's family members. This is his like community. This is like a person I spent all this time working with, and like it became a real person to me. So I'm so thankful that you taught me, and that's why I'm super eager to help out. And
Yeah.
so I
Thank
want
you
to
for that.
demonstrate something here to everyone. Okay, so I'm gonna put up some pictures, and you're gonna tell me, is it Pakistan or is it not Pakistan? Okay, so I think let's see. I grabbed some pictures here. Let's see here. So here comes the first picture. So the game is it Pakistan or is it not Pakistan? So there we go. Is it Pakistan?
Yeah, if you ask me, not at all.
Right. So this clearly this is the pyramid of Giza. So not Pakistan. All right. All right. So Pakistan or not Pakistan?
Well, again, you asked me, not Pakistan.
Right. So this is Death Valley in the United States. And I think that's the thing. Like before I met you and got to talk about to you and learned more about your home country, this is what most people think of everything that's, in Asia, that's not India or China or Japan and, the South Pacific. And so, all right. So how about this one? There we go.
That's the beautiful Rakaposhi Mountains in the north of Pakistan.
This is beautiful. If you would have showed this picture to me, I would have thought, that this was the Swiss Alps. And this is gorgeous. This is so this is in the northern part of Pakistan.
Yep. And it's really close to the China border we have. And these are actually another reason we have like a lot of glaciers on the top, and because of the global warming, those glaciers basically get melted, and the rate of the melting has been increasing due to global warming recently.
Yeah.
So that is another reason of the flood in Pakistan.
Wow. And then how about this one right here?
Well, that is the one of the most beautiful mosques in the whole world, and it's in my city where I live in Islamabad, Pakistan, which is also the capital.
Yeah, so I mean that is just absolutely gorgeous, and yeah, if you Google that mosque, there's just incredible pictures of it. So so that's like the framing. That's why I'm like really interested in this. And so why don't you tell us just a little bit deeper about what's going on here with the crisis?
So currently, as you know, Pakistan contributes just less than 1% of the global greenhouse gas emissions, and we are one of the top 10 countries who are most vulnerable and who get most affected by the climate change. And this shows that there is a huge proportion in terms of climate vulnerability and what we are contributing to the global emissions. So if you would see the G20 countries, which have a lot of industries and they're developed countries, those are actually, so we are basically paying for their success. There is like one way to look at that.
Yeah.
And currently,
that geographically, you have this place where you have the monsoon rains, you have increasing in the length and severity, you have the glacial melt, and it's just funneling all of this into Pakistan.
Yeah, it's coming also this the reason why we had like a huge problem this year is because all of that happened at one period of time. The rainfall increased like 800%, around 800%.
Wow.
And due to global warming, those glaciers melted as well. So we had a lot of cities, they're just, on the north, those just got affected by those glacier melting. It was not monsoon, but a lot of other areas, it had like 800% increase above average levels of rainfall that caused this. So currently, around 33 million people are affected. And I just want to point out that an estimated 1.2 million of those are pregnant women. And currently, around 1/3 of the country is underwater. And there has been a huge disaster to, not just infrastructure, bridges, buildings, homes, anything you can think of. So one of the reasons why we cannot, provide resources to some areas is because people cannot even reach there. And because of this stagnant water, there's a huge health crisis that is coming up, and we are also already seeing cases of diarrhea, typhoid, cholera, malaria, and dengue. And that is, the situation of the health crisis at this moment.
Yeah, and this isn't like like people's basements are flooded and you drain them and then you're done. This is like everything's gone: crops, food, hospital facilities. And I mean, I think about like when Katrina happened in the United States, and that was just in one, roughly speaking, one city in the United States. Takes where it took several days before the National Guard could reach people or trapped in the city.
Exactly.
Take that up to 33 million people, and basically, the entire U.S. Eastern Seaboard is the scale of the disaster.
Yeah, and just to give you a ballpark estimate,
Yeah.
33 million people is almost the entire population of Canada. It is also 3 times of that of Portugal. So just to give people like an estimate of what that number is, it's huge. It's off the scales, right, at this point.
Yeah, and I think a lot of so we've seen the response that the global communities had for the people in Ukraine who have been devastated by war and their health crisis, and supplying medical supply and monetary funds to to help those individuals. So when you start sitting down and think about, okay, so what can we do in order to make an impact in country? What did you come up with?
So basically, we have a lot of options. There are a lot of NGOs, there are a lot of nonprofits, and even the government itself, it has a flood relief fund. And you can basically contribute to those. But one of the organizations that really stood out was Al-khidmat. I talked to my friends and family, and I also looked at what credible organizations were donating to, like which NGOs, and I saw Al-khidmat as a non-profit, an NGO that can that is ready to deploy. That they have already done it. They have been working since day one. So this flood situation has been ongoing since around 2 months now, right? And they have been there since day one, and they have medical camps option, tarpaulins, tents, ambulances, and they're basically ready to deploy. They just need funds, and I think this is where we come in. We cannot physically go to Pakistan, but we can donate to these organizations which have the resources, which have those volunteer workers which can help. And our ask is basically that everyone extends their generosity to Pakistan, just like they did for Ukraine, and we can donate, and through this donation we can provide medical supplies, and just a $1,000 contribution can directly support around 600 beneficiaries. And I'll tell you how the breakdown is, and how those estimated beneficiaries are getting affected through different types of resources we can provide. So one big thing we can do is the medical camp, and basically there are in that medical camp there are lots of medicines, vaccinations. There is a basic health unit level medical checkup where you get a free checkup for sugar level testing, and also blood pressure, and just basic medical checkup. And this cost for the medical camp also includes the logistics, because normally they do it in a mobile way, and they have to set up in a remote area. So there is that cost, and then finally the cost for the medical staff. And the medical staff expertise can vary from basic to professional. A lot of the professional ones just volunteer; they don't take any fees for themselves. And sometimes this camp stays for approximately 10 days, and it is basically dependent on how many people are served and what available supplies are at hand.
So this is like a way to really create some mobile healthcare to get into these regions that have been really devastated and hard to reach. And I think what really kind of jumps out to me here is how easy, if just as an individual, a $50 donation for me makes a good impact. And as someone who's been in healthcare all my life, this is a way that I can just make a small contribution. And you talked about organizations, and so you identified that Unilever and Samsung have already, as companies, supplied food and resources to Al-khidmat to help them in these missions. And so it's a great place to get started if your company's interested in trying to help out.
Yep, for sure. I think that shows a lot of credibility, and it's not just Unilever and Samsung. There are a lot of other organizations that have already used Al-khidmat to help people. So I think this is one good organization. Obviously there are a lot of others as well, but I think if we have to narrow one down and pick one, Al-khidmat is the one to go for.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing here is I am definitely going to be making a donation to Al-khidmat, and what we're going to do is we're going to share in this video at the bottom. We're going to share a link so that if you want to go ahead and make a donation, anyone out there, or get your company involved, it's going to be the place that you can go and make a difference. And Wajahat, I want to thank you for number one, expanding me as a person, both through my professional life and also in a personal way, and really for reaching out to me to see what we could do to help the people of Pakistan.
Yeah, I actually thank you. I obviously have a bias towards Pakistan, a clear bias, but seeing you, firstly hearing it out, being aware of it, and then now doing everything you can to contribute, and I really commend and also thank you for that.
It's my pleasure. So, hopefully, your family and country, they remain safe, and, we can do something else to help out your community. So thanks a lot for joining me today. And, hopefully I'll see you around Highmark soon enough.